Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another live show of the Unsung Heroes, and I'll be the boy DJ Moschino alongside with my brother DJ Superior.
Yo, what's good?
And
What's good? What's good?
Today's special guest is Kiana Monroe.
Miss Monroe.
All the way from sunny LA.
But we are grateful to have you back. We had Kiana Monroe on, I want to say maybe a year ago. And, we were talking about trafficking at the particular time and what had transpired and how you got out of it. But we didn't go into detail, like what happened after you got out of it and how did you transition out of it? So I don't know if you want to give a little bit of the backstory a little bit, just to let the people know.
I'm a survivor of child trafficking from the ages of 12 to 15. Like I said last time, I'm born and raised South Central LA, Cuban mother. My parents had me when I was really, really young. Well, when they were really young, they had me. It took a lot to rediscover who I was and my identity after that. I kind of went into hiding. So my grandmother kind of made me do homeschool up until I graduated. And then once I graduated and I went to Spelman, then I kind of discovered a different level of freedom and safety because I didn't know anybody, and it was like starting over and having a fresh start somewhere else. The thing about that is I was so afraid of being identified and labeled by what it is that I did. I actually overworked to almost like the point of burnout. I overworked so that my identity would be on my achievements, my accomplishments, and my accolades. So I went from getting, a degree at Spelman and then giving double masters at USC, and then working as a sports journalist at ESPN, and not really knowing exactly what it is that I wanted to do. I know I wanted to work with people, right? But just trying to figure out who I was and still kind of hiding a part of who I was because I carried a lot of shame because of what I went through.
Right.
I thought no one would really want to be with me or talk to me or be interested in me. I kind of labeled myself as damaged. That makes sense.
So quick question. So how was that transition? Like, how did that take? I want to say, how long did it take for one? And what was the transition like to try to get out of that and get to some type of normalcy for yourself?
It took a minute because my first semester, I didn't really talk to anybody. I didn't trust anybody. I was always kind of like looking over my shoulder. I had to go to therapy. Okay. It took years. I had my son. When he was little, I was just like, we're just going to do this life together. And everything that I didn't get, all the love that I didn't get, and the safety, I gave it to him. And that was my way. I kind of hid myself in motherhood and in my achievements. Okay. Right? Therapy. I highly encourage therapy. And it takes a while. I went through a couple of them before finding out which one was going to work for me. But when I found somebody and they stuck, I took the time. I did the work. And a lot of people, they think, therapy is just, you go in there and you just have conversations. Actually, a good therapist is not afraid to hurt your feelings. They will mirror a lot about you to you in the healing process to unlearn and forgive people who are not sorry, right? And reimagine an aspect of your life that you stopped dreaming about because you were going through the things that you went through. So that's really tough.
Let me ask you one thing real quick, Mo. Because I hear you talk about your son. How old is your son?
My son is now 21. I'll be 42 next week.
All right. Okay. Well, you don't look nowhere near 41, but all right.
Thank you.
But
great skin, got an ounce of makeup on, so it's good water.
But what I want to ask you is, because what you said when you was looking over your back and doing that with the school and all of that, how does one start trusting men again? Like, how did that
Yeah.
even happen for you to have a kid? Like, I don't, because that was all
That
that
part.
happened to you was way before you had a kid, right? So
Mhm.
what went in that process? Like say I'm a man that's trying to rap to you. I don't know nothing about that. So I didn't know what you went through unless we had those conversations and then something happened. Because I can't see
Right.
it happening because I would be iffy with you knowing what you went through. So how did that process happen? I think people need to know that too because some people don't know how to move on.
Yeah. I had a couple people tell me, I can never date somebody that has been through any levels of sexual assault, right? And to that, for a while, I looked at it as something to be embarrassed about or something to be ashamed of. But I was just like, well, then you're not for me. It's not for me, right? I fell in love with a high school sweetheart that I knew was a really good friend of a relative that I trusted and that I was close to, one of my cousins. And she was like, so and so has a crush on you. He's liked you for a little bit. And I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. So the interesting thing was, I didn't have any trust, right? But I had gone through so much at a young age. I was looking for somebody who would like me without objectifying me, right? So there are some things that are just very strict for me, even to this day, a little bit. Like consent, that's very important. And a lot of people will do things like, you go to the club, somebody walk past you, they want to like touch on you before they go and get to the other side. Yeah, I don't like that.
Right.
I'm a big believer of keeping your hands to yourself, right? And I met someone who wasn't pressing me for sex. Like he legit just wanted to come over, spend some time with me, do regular shit. Like, I stayed in the house most of the time. And I talked to him about a couple of things that I went through, and not necessarily the trafficking, but I did talk about, the assault that I went through when I was younger than that, like the incest and some of that. And so he knew I had gone through a lot. He didn't know to what extent, but he knew. And he was very respectful of that. And he never tried anything with me, never tried anything with me, and was always supportive, listened to me. And it actually gave me enough time to like him for who he was and put my guard down and feel like, okay, this is somebody. I put him in the friend zone
Yeah.
for a bit and allowed that friendship to develop into love. Like he's like my first love.
That's
And
beautiful.
so he actually, when we graduated, we stayed in touch. And unfortunately, he passed away before
Oh,
my
wow.
son was born, right?
My condolences.
And he never got a chance to meet him. But,
Wow.
it took a long time. It took a long time. And then moving forward, I had to do therapy. I had done things in such a mechanical way. And I think that some women, not all women, but when you hear things like women will fake an orgasm all the time with men, that's a mechanical process. That's doing something, to just get it over with, stroke the ego, whatever the reasons they might have had for doing it. For me, it was just trying to just give you pleasure so we can get it over with.
Get it away. Right.
We can go into the intimate details that I prefer.
Don't get me wrong, we do that too.
I believe that, you know what? I don't knock it. I've had some clients in my profession who don't really like certain things with women, and they're males, and they experienced sexual assault when they were little, and they don't ever say anything to the women because they don't know how that's going to come off. They don't want you. Everyone is afraid of the shame, right, or the judgment, or the condemning, or what people will say. So
Right.
they suppress it and they hide it, right? For me, it was a mechanical thing for me. And it was just like, all right, I'm going to give you what you want, and then you can give me what I want. I still made my relationships until I got into therapy. And my therapist said, if you don't want to have sex, just say you don't want to have sex.
Yeah.
Don't do it to please him so that you can get what you want, because it was actually still transactional. And instead of paying for intimacy or paying for sex, right? The transaction was the love, the attention, the affection, the care. And I gave what they needed and hurried and got it over with so that I could get the treatment that I wanted, that I was expecting in a relationship with a guy. So it took a minute for me to start realizing that that was a conditioning from when I was young, that I was doing that, and how to stop that.
Right.
Well, I would like to say God bless even though he's not here no more. I would like to, because you never hear these stories about a man like you just mentioned, how he handled it and what he did with you. We don't never hear the success stories. We always hear, the dog part of the man. So God bless him, his family, or whoever he is, and may he rest in peace for doing what he did with you.
Was he older?
No.
Okay.
No, we were the same exact age. He was just raised well.
Yeah.
Raised by a single mother, grandmother, aunt, all of that stuff. And I think too, him having a relationship with my cousin already, he kind of knew her energy and he knew my aunt. So he didn't want to kind of just walk in with this, I'm trying to talk to you, I want to take you out. Like, he was very respectful of who I was. We had a lot in common, right? And I had the gift of gab, and he liked to listen. And he was okay with being in the friend zone. He really just wanted to get to know me and spend time with me, however much time I was going to give him. And because he wasn't pressing me at all, even the first time we decided to do something, he was like, are you sure? Are you comfortable? Are you sure? Right. Are you sure? Like, he was almost more nervous than I was. And that actually...
Yeah, I would be nervous too.
Yeah.
That made me relax a whole lot more and just say, okay, this person likes me and loves me for me.
Yeah, he had a lot of respect for you.
You don't see that often. Because I think there's more lust, right, with the desire, without the desire to like truly connect and grow something real.
Oh yeah, I mean, with entertainment they push it.
Age too.
Yeah, entertainment they pushing it 24/7. So
yeah,
it's like it's pushed down our throats. Even the little kids, it's like they can't stand a chance out here with what's going on in today's world.
Yeah, that's why I do the work. It's why I do the work.
You seen them young girls dancing to Sexy Red. You saw that online?
I have not seen that, but I've heard a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things. That makes my work harder. I would say that makes my work harder because they're not really thinking about the safety of that. And putting themselves out there, and the internet, you put yourself out there in that way, you're up for grabs. And it's not to say that women are not allowed to be liberated, right, in their femininity or their sexuality, right? But you need to be able to do it with the understanding of the world that we live in the billion-dollar industry that we live in, called trafficking. And it is that whole, hunt or be hunted. Like, you put yourself out there, you make yourself prey. So you have to be aware of the safety measures and be cautious when you decide to do that. Everything can be done with caution. Everything needs to be done with caution.
It's almost like they're baiting and preparing their kids for what's out there. That's when you look at these videos, that's how I feel when I see it. Because I come across a lot of women, like when we did the video with you, my DM was jumping with people that was like, Mo, this happened to me at such and such. This happened. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, it's rough.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I'm not even a fan of having little babies with a profile on social media. Like, why you gotta have, like, why your 2-year-old gotta have a social media profile, like all these photos and stuff. Like, I think we live in a time where oversharing is just the norm. Like, keep some things for yourself for safety measures. Like, you always have to, everything is being, like, I don't know if everything is being surveillance, but you got videos, you got social media, people can see you from anywhere at any time with a click of a button. That whole sex sells. there's a reason why you have like all of the stuff that you see when it comes to kids and missing kids and things that they don't talk about. And I always tell parents, be mindful of how you raise your kids, and don't put them in a situation where you are grooming them for a predator. You raise them, but you do not groom them.
Right.
And I think that a lot of times women tend to over sexualize themselves, and objectify themselves, or they do it to their kids. And we live in a generation where people will pay to see that. People will pay to see it. And if that's your hustle, if your body is your hustle, then you're putting your life at risk.
Yeah, you can't be mad at what happened.
I'm not putting my life at risk. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because you can be found. All those permissions
it's definitely going
on your all the permissions that get allowed on the apps and all that other stuff, you can be found.
Right.
Everything you put out there is an advertisement of you. And
100%.
What am I selling? What am I advertising? What am I promoting? What am I marketing out there?
Right.
You can be sexy without objectifying yourself. I'm all for women's liberation. I'm a huge feminist. I'm for that. Right? Own your body, it's yours. Right? But to do it without the mindfulness of the world that we live in sets you up for some shit that you may not
that
be
you
able to
can't get out of.
Right? I deal with the survivors all the time, and they always say, "Oh, I never thought, or I just got in an Uber." Even with Uber, I don't know if you guys have seen the Netflix series where Uber talks about, how they were kind of dismissing all the rape cases and the missing women.
No, I didn't see it.
Man.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Exactly.
But it can easily happen.
When you think about it, like really think about it.
We don't know these people that you get in the car with. You don't have an idea.
And they want to pick you up drunk. You know what I'm saying? You have your actual picture on there, so they know who they picking up drunk and taking them to their house. Man, if
they got your address. They got your address. They know you're drunk.
Exactly. Do you see how that's not sketchy? That's sketchy. That I don't do Uber and Lyft. And when I do, I usually will let like my brother or my dad. I'll use their account. I'll use a man's account. And you ain't picking me up from the address that you think you're picking me up from and dropping me off or anything. No, none of that. You think you're picking up a man. So there's no like little green flags going off like, we picking up so-and-so from so-and-so's, location. And it's, at the end of the day, there was a news report. I don't know if it was on like ABC or NBC or something like that. But one of the drivers was attracted. I don't know if it was Uber Eats. And he delivered food to this girl's house. And kept her address and number and came back another day and said, hey, I hope it's not, weird or crazy, but I decided, to hit you up in the daytime because he delivered the food at night and hit her up another time and came to her house with flowers. Like, if that's not some weird.
Right. No, you're right. Right?
If you got people eating your fries and drinking your shake, what makes you think that they ain't gonna save your address and your phone number, your contact information? These are
so what about most of the girls that you work with? What have they encountered to get them into that lifestyle that they didn't know that they was aware of, basically?
The Ubering. I've heard some, getting in cars with people that they don't know. Not always Uber, but trusting, a friend's brother to pick them up or a friend of a friend to pick them up. Going out, not being very cautious, jumping in I've heard of a girl jumping into a taxi and being taken somewhere she wasn't supposed to be going. Drinking and putting your drink down and it getting spiked. That's a real thing. Especially when you're going out to clubs and things like that. That's a legit thing. When they're really young, sometimes it's being picked up at schools, or walking by yourself, not walking in a group, not being mindful and aware of your surroundings, putting too much of your personal information in your location. I've had some girls, lie about their age and jump on like Tinder and Bumble and some of these apps and meeting older guys, lying about their age. Things like that have happened. I've had girls tell me like, family members have sold them into that. So it really depends. In the music industry, I've heard there's nothing I haven't heard. There's nothing that I pretty much haven't heard. And it's just, at the end of the day, it's people not being mindful or really, really believing, man, I know that happens, but that's not going to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I've been from here my whole life, or I've lived here my whole life, or I've known a certain amount of people, for this amount of time. And like the trusting without consistent receipts and proof that these people are trustworthy. That's never okay. Yeah. Just because they seem cool doesn't mean that they for you. Successful people, my homeboy Apprentice says successful people are haters too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jealous too. And
so what do you feel about so what do you feel about the allegations with Diddy then?
I mean,
did Diddy do it? Did Diddy done it?
Did he?
I'm my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You don't try to pay anybody off when you believe you're right. Usually somebody has to have something on you and some real proof. And when I think about it, she was very young when he got with her. Very young, very impressionable. And there's a lot of things that people didn't talk about. When there were the allegations that he ripped her hair out, what everybody thought was just a cool fashion statement, that she like shaved her head off on one side. What? No. And then before that even came out, they're trying to give her hush money before he even went public. You don't give anybody hush money. If you have that kind of money, I got enough to stand on to fight this case, and I got more money than you, and I know I'm going to win. You don't have anything on me. But the minute it starts circling around and being legit, silence. Here,
did y'all think J-Lo was going through this? Because I never heard none of that with J-Lo.
I never heard any of that with her, but I believe that she's seen what she needed to see.
And got out.
And she was who she was already. And the smart thing to do when all that went down with him and Shine and all of, she was like, I'm out.
Gone.
Like I think that was final straw. How much she's seen before that, we don't know.
We don't know, right?
We will never know. That's their story to tell. But I don't think that this is a new thing, right? And I don't give him a pass to do what you see all these rich, wealthy white men do. That's in all this inappropriate shit. When you get to a certain level and you have that type of money, you think people are disposable and you feel superior. Pay attention to people's language when they feel like they can make or break your life. That God's superiority complex, right?
So do you feel like you have to do something strange to get to the next level in the entertainment business?
No, you have to be willing to know that it may take a little longer. You have to go into it with morals and values. You have to go in there with some principles that you stand on. Right?
Yeah, look at the I'm sorry. Yeah. Look at the girl because you talked about the industry, Mo. Look at Ice Spice. Like, we're DJs and we don't really know. We might know one or two songs maybe, but she's promoted shaking her showing her ass all the time. Every time you see her, she's bent over showing her butt. So with Ice Spice, but when I found out the same people who did Sakashi 6ix9ine is the people that doing her allegedly, that explained everything. That's crazy because that's all they're promoting.
Right. right? But you don't have to. You don't have to do that,
You don't have to
right?
do it, but like he said, what do they do to get to the?
Halle Bailey is doing phenomenal, and you don't see her doing that. You don't see her doing that. You
Well,
don't.
they did have a comment on Holly where she was in a room. Allegedly, they had someone who said in an interview that it was at a basketball game and then she didn't speak to a certain group of guys, and they all were laughing in the background like, oh, now she don't want to speak to us after we done did X, Y, and Z in the room.
Oh yeah,
And this recently came out.
yeah. Yep.
I'm just like, did she? Or she is, well, which sister are you talking about? Because they're kind of night and day.
You said Halle Berry?
Yeah.
That's what.
Not the other sister.
Yeah, Halle Berry. That's you said Halle Berry, right? Yeah, that's what they were talking about.
I've not heard anything like that. I haven't heard anything like that.
But you'll never hear about it unless it comes out.
And that's the thing too. And so, and then sticking on the topic of like how people put themselves out there for the world to see. When you're talking about, what is her name, Sexy Red? Because I did not hear that. Like, I've never even heard the song until it was going viral about, what is it? Her booty hole is black or something. I don't listen.
No, the booty hole brown, coochie's pink.
Listen to it.
Yeah, brown.
Like, everybody already knows that.
But that's the song.
That's psychologist and every doctor around the world, and like, you don't need to advertise it in that way, right? But you don't see Halle doing any of that. You don't see that on her social media. Like, she's liberated, she's free, she's herself, right? But there's a level of class, because everything you got is not everybody's business. If that makes sense.
No, I agree, but the industry is pushing this, and it's affecting our kids to the max. Like, we never seen it to this point. A lot of people be like, "Oh, what about Little Kim or Foxy Brown and this, that, and the third?" Okay, I get that, but what's going on now? And then I see a lot of women who have these kids; they're pushing it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Yo, we lost our way in a bad way." We got women going against men, men going against women. The older class is going against the younger class. It's like we all over the place. So it's like, how do we navigate this and have some type of moral compass at this point?
Yo, T, they be older people when we're DJing. Like, this older lady came up to me asking me for that song that you just brought up. She's like, "Oh, pay that, my booty hole brown." And I'm just looking at her like, all right.
No, I'm saying that. Yeah, I ain't saying that. But
as a DJ, sometimes you can't. We can't have it both ways. Sometimes when we're doing those parties and we're getting paid, we're just playing the music. So that's all we're doing. Because we could play a Little Kim record. I used to be scared of the, but now I put lips to the. No. It is what it is.
No, that's
Women love that song too. There's a bunch of women that love that song.
I love Lil Kim. I love Lil Kim and Foxy Brown. I love them.
But don't get me wrong, though, Sue. It's a time and place for it.
Exactly. And then
no, I didn't say that it wasn't. What I'm saying to you is, they love that. They love that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a time and a place, but there's just people that love that. They can't go from that and they're going over here like, "Oh my God, what is she doing? She doing the same shit you was just singing about with Kim."
Yeah.
But the difference is, when we seeing them coaching their kids, they coaching the kids.
Oh, I ain't talking about the kids.
And they putting the kids on poles like right
I'm not
now.
talking
And these
about
kids
the kids.
These kids only three. They only 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, and they got them doing this. And they're doing this in classes.
No, I'm against all the kid stuff. I'm against
You get what I'm saying?
I'm against them trying to push gender stuff in schools. Like, you can't raise a son right now. I mean, your son is, if you have a young son that's like 5 or 6, look how much stuff that's being promoted around him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he don't know if he's going or coming. He see guys fighting to be a woman, or we want to be able to go in a woman's bathroom. We want to be looked at this way or that way. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I got in trouble. I know we asked you about your stuff, but just to share y'all a little something, because this is old. This is when I was young, like 18, 18, 19. I think I got in a fight with a guy that was, you know, I don't know how to say it, the alphabets. I'll just say that. So you know what I'm
Was he
talking
carrying
about. Yeah.
L L
LB. Yeah, yeah.
LBG.
I'll just say the alphabet. He was an alphabet
Yeah,
person,
yeah. Okay. All right.
and I beat him up. You know what I'm saying? He said something. Me and him got into it, but we fought as men. It didn't have nothing to do about his gender or what he was going through. And when I got locked up, they thought it was because of that. And I had said to the judge, I said, when I was able to speak, I said, we both men. We had a men fight all the time. Like, I have nothing to do with what he turned out to be or whatever. He's still a man, you know? So eventually it got dropped eventually. But what I'm saying is we're not even allowed as men to be men. Like, say we in the bathroom, you know, we got urinals, y'all got the toilet. We could be doing, you know, handling our business, and it could be somebody right here looking at you. Now, what are you going to do as a man when that happens? Say, yo, what are
Hook
you
off.
doing, man? What are you doing? No, we're going to try to whip his ass.
Yeah, that part.
But then
Yeah.
when we get filed and it's hard to fight the truth now. See, that's what's good now. Like Mo said, the industry now showing the truth. But a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
all true.
times,
Yeah,
the lie
Now,
gets more promoted than the truth.
yeah it do.
So now it's
yeah.
reversing. Now the truth is
Mm-hmm.
being told, and the
Yeah, it's being
lies,
told.
the lies can't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I also think that a lot of people, especially like when going back to the music, I listened to the things that I listened to growing up, but I also had my mother wasn't great in a lot of things, but some of the things that she was great in was um that's music. That's music, and there's a difference between entertainment and real life. And just because they do it, don't mean you do it. My mom used to say, "You're not going to get the same results. You can't do what you see on TV. You can't do everything that other people do. You can't do the things that you hear on. So that's entertainment." Like my mom had to mother me in that way, and I think that a lot of times people leave it up to celebrities and artists way too much to
Mm-hmm.
do the raising up their kids. I allow my
Right.
son to listen to a lot of the stuff. My son knows the difference between, what's real and what's not. What's dope music and what's got a cool beat to it. I was different. I raised him on like 80s, 90s hip hop
Mm-hmm.
was, you know, that's what I grew up on. So he loves all that too, but he likes Travis Scott and on 21 Savage and all the other, right? But he understands that what they do as an artist for sales, that is their job to do that. That's not my job. I can listen to that, you know what I'm saying, on my way to my class
Mm-hmm.
to learn digital animation and graphic design. But that's not the field I want to work in,
Right.
right? So not raising your kids and leaving it up to the industry and television and social media, this whole digital era, to do your work because you don't have time to do it. It's your job to instill the principles in morale
Mm-hmm.
into your kids and shape them so that they can look at the difference between music and art and television and whatever the case may be as exactly what that is. And if they're creative as they evolve, they know the difference and they'll be able
Difference,
to
yeah.
separate the two. You have to install those principles, right?
Everyone doesn't have a Kiana in their life. So they're being raised by the internet too. And they're being raised by the Percocets. They're being raised by the streets and so on and
The
so forth.
streets, like
So
what you
they're
went through,
lost in
like
the
what you
wind.
went
So
through,
now,
what you told us last time we saw you. Like you went to a party,
yeah.
you got passed on. Like you said, what you told us. You think that don't
Mm-hmm.
happen in the music industry on tour? You know how much stuff be happening on tour? You know how many
Yep.
times I
Oh,
had to
I
try
know.
to save a girl? from going home on tour that we just met, and they're willing to come chill with us, do everything, and like hit
Mm-hmm.
everybody off or hit some people off for trying to get the, and chill with us all day. I saw all that type of stuff. That's why I never wanted to go on tour. Me and my man brought somebody home, and I got it on video. We brought somebody home because they were treating her bad on tour. And they were mad at me because they was like, why do you care? I said, because that could be my daughter or my family member or something.
Word.
So I brought the girl home. But she had no money, so she stayed with me for like 3 days. Me and my man brought her home, and then we made sure she got back home. And we've been friends with her for years. And she always speak highly on me, but I always tell her I don't need nobody to know that. I said, nobody needs to know that. I don't want no praise from that. That was just a human thing to do. But she was
So
on tour.
you always help kids out, so?
Huh?
You always help kids out, so?
Yeah, because I was a youth director, and that's what I did. But a lot of times, the street already got them, because what you said to me, I related to it, that last interview when you said the friend left you. Remember what you was telling us? I seen that happen a million times.
Yep.
I seen that happen on tour. Like with X, for instance. X was blamed for something he didn't even do. It was something that somebody else did. In the beginning of his career, it was somebody who like looked like him or whatever. And they did that stuff with the girl. And the girl wasn't even raped. She went along with it. But when she thought she can get some money, she said X raped her. Meanwhile, X didn't even know who the chick was. But it was somebody who looked like him. So when they went to court, she even looked at him and said, oh, that's not him.
Exactly. I think one of the issues too is that, like, the good thing that you have in you, that's instilled in you, like when you see something that's foul, you say something because it's not right. I think as much as we have to teach safety and caution and all of the things that we just said about young girls and women, one of the things that I had to make sure I taught my son is consent. And then men holding other men accountable instead of like, that ain't my problem.
Right.
Or, this woman wasn't young. She was older. She was like 23, 24. So I was wondering why she was even there doing that.
And I think a lot of dudes do it because they don't have nobody holding them accountable like that. You don't constantly do things as much as you do things if you're not getting away with doing it. Like that. You feel me? Like if you ain't getting in trouble, shit, you'll do it as often as possible. It's beneficiary to you. Ain't nobody like, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna say something to me? That I'm not gonna get challenged. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is teaching young boys what consent is, real consent is, right? And also men holding other men, boys holding other boys. Because my son will say something in a heartbeat, even when he was younger, like in high school. He don't play that when it comes to girls, right? And he used to always have girls around him all the time. So he had male friends, but he was just like, yeah, you don't talk to her like that. And I used to say, even if you feel like she's out here disrespecting herself, because him and his friends asked me, they were just like, well, Mom, if a girl's acting like a hoe, don't you treat her like a hoe? And I was just like, if that's how she's acting, then it's not your job to give her a helping hand. You can be the change that she's not getting. You can be the mirror. Or do you want to contribute to the problem? Right? If that's how she's treating herself, why would you help her further that? What does that say about you? Not about her and how I raised you. Not about her.
So you put values on it.
Very much so.
Yeah, and values on it.
Still, I worked at a strip club and for 5 years, and that's all I saw. You know what I'm saying? But they used to get mad at me because I was close with the strippers and I could talk to them. And I tried to get them out of stripping. But just saying regular things to them, and people would be like, "Oh man, you cock blocking," or "you man, shut up, nobody want to hear that." Because I usually try to tell them, I said, "This is cool, this is entertainment. I'm a man, I like it, But I'm saying after
Right.
a while, what do you bring to the table trying to be somebody's wife? Like, you think I'm gonna let you be my wife after you done ran through half
Did
of
it
the
actually,
people
right.
I know?
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
makes you think I'm gonna do that with you?
Yeah. So what are the values that you look for when trying to date or pursue someone at this particular moment?
Who, me? Like,
I
what do
mean,
I?
I want to say, I guess we could, well,
Uh,
everybody, I
I
guess,
guess
this is a question for
we
everybody.
both can answer that. I'll let you go first.
Well, because see, this is the first time this, you know, you're the only woman we have on the show. So I gotta ask you these
Yes, you're the
relationship dating
only
questions.
woman that we've
You
had
are.
on the show.
Really? Oh my gosh! I
So
feel
Yeah.
much that we
like
wanted you to be one of the regular hosts. Like here and there, we might need you on the show with us.
I'll come.
Yes.
I'll come in a heartbeat. One of the things that is a requirement for me is
Yeah.
compatibility,
Mm-hmm.
chemistry, and connection. Right? We
Okay.
need to be aligned. I'm not dating just for the sake of dating.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's very important that somebody knows how to manage their emotions. You know what I'm saying? The impulsiveness, I don't get down like that. And it's also because of a lot of things that I grew up seeing and being around. If you don't know how to manage and regulate your anger, it's not
Mm-hmm.
saying that you can't be angry, right? But if you act on being emotionally charged and you're overly aggressive, I have a problem with that, right? Because you
Okay.
don't have to speak to me like that to get your point across. So that's a big red flag for me. Being able to communicate, express yourself. Are you emotionally open and available, right? Do you know how to repair? Because we're gonna argue. Conflict is
Yeah.
inevitable, and if you really think about it, conflict will make you closer because you find out what hurts your person. You
This is
find
true.
out what doesn't work. You find out, oh, I don't think he likes that. I don't think she likes that. And then you get closer because now you realize why. And it usually has to. And my thing is, if you have a non-negotiable, you should also be able to not only communicate that, but communicate why that's a problem for you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you add an additional layer of information and value to bring out the compassion of your person towards you. I'm not going to do that to her because blank.
Yeah.
She's been disrespected before, or this broke her heart before, or she saw A, B, and C growing up, or whatever that might be, and they'll keep that in mind, and that brings you closer. But if there's no accountability and it's just blame or dismissiveness, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
ever fix the problem,
Right.
I have a problem with that. That's a red blanket for
Mm-hmm.
me, and
Proper
making sure
communicate.
that somebody is in alignment with me. What you doing with your life? You don't have to. It's because it's. I want somebody who's willing to grow with me, meet
Right.
me where I am. I'm going to meet him where he is, and we grow and we evolve together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's. I see podcasts all the time where love is more like a battlefield, and people are going to war with each other
Mm-hmm.
versus of going to war. You know, with one another towards everybody else.
They're
Yeah,
working
I'm not.
towards it's working towards a contract. Like you got to do X, Y, and Z. Or if you don't do this, or you don't make this certain amount of money, I'm not gonna be with you, and I'm gonna be with this person. That's what it is. Instead of like if you working with somebody, I'm meeting you halfway to a certain point, and we're gonna elevate to a degree. You have something I don't have, and vice versa. And me personally, I like to know how pure is the soul of the person that I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Those are my goals. I want to know. What can I help you with while I'm here with you? Because there's a reason that we are connected. You know what I'm saying? Is there a mission that you have? And I want to take this journey with you in this experience, and vice versa. Do you reciprocate on things? You know what I mean? Do you communicate to just respond? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Are you respecting my thought process? And it's a lot of things. I want to see what your mother and father was like. How were they when they were kids? You know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
I want to know
I'm,
what the conversation is
I don't
because
know.
in reality, you have those genes of your mother and your father, and you may be a little, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, my mother, like how I was raised, right? And what I saw, I have the good genes. Like my dad is really smart. He has multiple degrees, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the nerdiness, I get the nerdiness, right? My mom,
Yeah.
she can be a little mean, like a little angry cat. She can be spiteful and vindictive, right? But
But you might have that.
I watched So here's the difference. I
Mm-hmm.
watched what I saw and I learned, right? I
Okay.
learned what I didn't want to be. I learned that I wanted to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a family where a lot of women are, they will only talk to you within a certain tax bracket, and their beauty got them
Got
exactly
them with
where
it.
they needed
Right.
to be. And I
Yeah.
wanted to be completely opposite because I didn't like that. I already
Mm-hmm.
was dealing with what I was dealing with. I was like, I don't like that. The way I loved, I was not conditioned to be this person. I had to learn to be this person. I
Right.
had to
Right.
invest in my own healing and be committed, right,
Mm-hmm.
to who I wanted to become so that I
Mm-hmm.
can be that, not just for me, but so that
Yeah.
other people can benefit, so that my son could benefit. So when it comes to, you know, kind of when I say dating in alignment, I also think people need to date at their healing level.
The healing. Yes, I agree. I agree.
Date at what your love capacity is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Don't and love people for who they are, not for their potential or who you want them to be. I
Mm-hmm.
think acceptance is something that people lack within themselves, right? So the unwillingness to accept what somebody is showing you and choosing to believe them and not romanticize this version of who you want this person to be. That's how you break your own heart later in a relationship 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, maybe
Mm-hmm.
with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids later,
Mm-hmm.
right? You mad because, they changed or you expected them to be. No, they told you who they were in the
Who they
beginning.
were. Right.
You chose not
Mm-hmm.
to believe them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's because there's something that's in you. You wanted them to feel a certain part or void that is not their responsibility to do. You
Right.
don't have to be completely like healed and fully self-loved. I think the right partner will encourage your healing on your journey if
Well,
they're
look, at
willing
least
to talk about it.
acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Talk about it. This is what's going on with me, and that's why I say I want to know what happened when you had your childhood era, because that's where the real emotions lay deep within you.
That's
Any
the
any
work.
any and everybody has whatever. Okay, this happened to me when I was 3. I got a beating. It was so bad, and it still bothers you to this day. So I might do something that activates that.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about it, so I won't do it no more. And
Right.
let's go back to that place in time, and let's see how we can get you out of that if we can. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like when my mother left me. My mother left me at a young age where I feel I wasn't fully mentally developed. Like, because I probably needed the father. The mother was sitting there. Sometimes mothers have a hard job because mother's got to be the mother and the father sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So when my mom left me and went away with some man, I had to raise myself. I told the story many a times, but she made sure I was in an apartment. She paid for rent for 6 months, and I was able to help raise myself. But there was a lot of nights where I sat in there and I cried. I was upset. I was mad because I was like, damn, this is what it's about. I got to raise my damn self. I ain't got nobody. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, when X came along with his problems, it kind of worked because I had somebody to care about. So I just
You talking about DMX?
DMX. I used to be his DJ, and that was my best friend. But he was troubled. He was a troubled guy. He was troubled, but I was able to have something that I could work on and whatever, and that kept my mind away from not having a mother. Like he always used to ask me, "Oh, where your mom at, dog?" And I used to be like, "He's around." Like I hate to laugh at this, but he used to always
Nah, we
ask
need it.
that.
It's good.
Yeah, he always used to ask that. Every time he came over, he like, what you inherit this apartment? Like he would make jokes and stuff, but what I'm saying
Yeah.
is I went through that and then not to laugh, but as I went on in life, it made me not like trust a woman because of what I
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
went through with my mother. So I didn't really care. I didn't want no girlfriend. Like till to this day, I don't have no girlfriend. I got girls I could mess around with, but I also have a
Right.
contract that me and them wrote up together, which we go get notarized and all of that. And people laugh at me, but I have a contract that I made with a female that covers us. That way you can never say, "Oh, you a dog, it is." yo, we both wrote this out. We both went and got it notarized. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I carry myself. I have girls that like me, but like Mo said, I want to know stuff about them because they got to come to the table with something. And if we could build something together, then I'm with them.
Right.
But if you just here for nails, toes, and this and that, and I'm not into that. And if I'm into it, I'm into it for one night. I'm not in for it to keep doing it.
The thing is that you're honest and forthcoming, and I think I can respect somebody. You know what I'm saying? That
Salute. So,
just like, look, it's not. You know, this. I had somebody tell me that too.
Oh,
I
okay.
am not in a place in my life where I can have a committed relationship. You know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, and you are like not only intellectually stimulating, but that stimulation runs down, and I like you, but I'm not trying to commit.
And which I don't have a
respect
problem with that. I can deal with that
I
all
was
day.
that's
Somebody,
honest, straightforward.
yeah,
very much so.
straightforward.
You
And
know
they
what?
use a
That's
new
not the
word. They
situation
use
I'm in
a
right now. But if I ever decide that that's what I want, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
like you too. I like you too, and I will come back for that, right? But
exactly.
now I respect him because you didn't rob me of my choice and try to manipulate me
No,
into something that's only beneficial to you, knowing with like full ass knowing that I'm looking for something a little more permanent. I don't like to be manipulated. Right? I have a problem with that. Tell me what it is and what it ain't. I'm gonna ask you some questions. Right?
Right.
Don't shoot the shit. Handle the rejection. Handle the rejection well. If I don't want you, I don't want you. But there's somebody out there that's gonna give you what you want.
What you
So
want?
you
Yeah.
just have to like check your ego and be able to receive the rejection. I'm not for everybody, and I don't want to be either. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is not going to be my cup of tea, but I'm secure within myself to know that the person that's going to be for me is going to be for me, and I choose not to actively participate in the breaking of my own heart by lying to myself about who a person is. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think most people are having sex because they are damaged people and hurt?
some of them may be damaged, and they're looking
It's a
for.
lot. It's a lot
What do you
going on.
mean? That's broad. What do you mean by not having sex? Are you talking about in their
No,
relationship?
they are having a whole lot of it because they are damaged and they trying to fulfill some type of void.
Do I think there are people out here sleeping around just because they're damaged?
Yeah, that's
I
what.
don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to use the term damage. I think that
Okay.
hurt people, and I think a lot of people run from the work of healing.
There you go.
It hurts to sit with somebody and acknowledge, you know, my mom, she just didn't give a shit. My dad, he didn't like, no matter what I did, no matter how much I tried, he didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But that has nothing to do with my value and my worth.
Right.
And I legit felt like I labeled myself as damaged because of what it is that I went through. So there was a lot of BS that I tolerated, accepted, and allowed that I would never allow now. But I was so unhealed and hurt that there was a narrative and a story that I told myself about what I went through. It's something I experienced, but that's not who I am.
Right.
It's not my identity, right? But that's the work that
That's
I
work,
had
yeah.
to do, the hard realization that I've been in these relationships and just allowing people to just treat me in the old kind of way because I have this story that I'm telling myself that I'm damaged. It's like, well, who told you were damaged? Right? And so I realized I was measuring my worth to what I thought society was going to view me as versus what I viewed me as. And I think a lot of people don't want to deal with the pain and the hurt of going through that healing, because healing is not fun. It actually it's painful.
It's painful. Yeah.
The realization of the shit is painful, right? And running from the truth of that is hard. It's easier to run through sheets than to run to yourself.
There you
Do you
go.
understand what I'm saying?
There
So
you go.
what he's saying is kind of, I can relate to it. I have seen it. Me being a youth director, I have seen it. There's some that if they got turned down by one guy and they really cared about him, they're going to go do something with somebody else because that's what they're used
Somebody
to.
else.
They need
Right.
somebody to want them. It's no different with the other thing. You would think like well, why y'all girls don't want to go to school? You don't want to do this. You want to do that. You know how many girls that have money, have kids just for they can get money from a system? Look at that. That's I hear them all the
Mm-hmm.
time. Oh, my tax money coming. I got this and that.
Yeah.
I hear that too.
Yeah.
I see that. I see girls doing that. I got one homegirl that got like 3 baby fathers, and she takes them through it. And a lot of times the month. That's why I said if we're going to talk about something, like when I be talking to them, I said talk to me real. Don't sit here and talk to me about what this guy did, what this guy did. What are you doing? Because you keep doing it. That means you must be damaged because you keep doing it.
It takes two. Like
Well, I blame the guy
out here,
too. Because if I'm with
you
you,
hurt.
if I'm with you and you got 2 baby fathers already, and you talking about
Right.
the kid me and you gonna have is special, I'm like, how's he
But
gonna be?
Oh.
people, like I said, that's the romanticizing too. It's
Yeah.
believing. Well, I'm looking at the history and looking at the pattern.
Well, that's what
lie,
Mo is saying. Mo is
right?
saying that they keep
Pattern or
having sex
Right.
because they think that, you know?
they running from. They
Mm-hmm.
are running from themselves, and they are, instead of doing the work, they are looking to hide themselves into
Right.
somebody else. And men do it too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Both sides.
Yeah.
Afraid to commit because
Yeah.
he had like issues with his mom, and he just would never open up that part of his heart, not ever,
Right.
not ever. And he was just like, Key, I don't, you remind me a lot of my mom. You're very nurturing, all of the things, but because of that, right, I can't, like, something about me is just going to run. And he said, I've heard a lot of good women. I know I've heard a lot of good women cheating because it's the one thing that, I can control. I can control the narrative by
Right.
doing that and make sure that I can give a piece of my heart, but not my whole heart. Because I
Whole
still
heart,
have
yeah.
power over my heart by
Right.
what it is that I do.
But
Right?
you know, not to cut you off, Key, to love somebody, you really got to give your whole heart if you're going to really truly love someone. You can't have a little piece of them, give a little bit of this. No, you got to give all the way in to really feel the full effect of it.
Yeah,
So,
love is it is an investment, but it's also an experience, right? And
yeah,
it's
it
not
is.
a prison. It's
You
not a
can't be
prison.
scared.
Don't hold people hostage. You can never leave me. That's not love.
That's not love.
control.
Yes.
And not being who you are and being honest, right? If you are people pleasing and you are like manipulating the situation in order to be with somebody, that's an attachment. You're
Right.
attached to that person for an unmet need that comes from a level of brokenness and something that's unhealed. That's
Narcissist.
why people grow and evolve and they heal and they realize, yeah, I don't like you no more. I don't know what made me ever want to get with you. Well, that was a hurt version of yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of times it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you was on the frequency of that hurt that the other person was, and it made sense. And then the other person finally grew out of it, and then, hey, I'm not there no more. See you.
And
Exactly.
to touch back on my mother, I told you the bad part, but the good part was, I mean, I stopped talking to her for like 13, 12 years. I wasn't talking to her at all. Act like I ain't had no mother. Because I said, hey, I ain't got no father, so I ain't got no mother neither. But eventually, when we sat down and got to talk, what I noticed is like you said, Kiana, my mother was young and she was just in love. She was looking for something to love. She came in and caught my father, having sex with somebody when I was young. I think I was 1 year old or whatever. But when she seen that kind of damaged her. You know what I'm saying? So she just hated all men. Well, she hated me because I was from him, I guess. But what I'm telling you is we're good now because she thought about what she did back then. And I just noticed that my mother was damaged. And
Challenge that. I
Huh?
want to challenge that a little bit. I want to challenge the dialogue on that just a little bit and say, did you get an opportunity to look at her humanity? Right? Look at her as a woman that got her heart broke.
no,
So
I'm
she
telling
was
you,
doing-
I accepted her back when I had those conversations and I seen what she was
Yeah.
going through, and she left me to raise myself. She did like she tried to explain it like how a wild animal pushes the animal out to go hunt for itself. But she left me behind for me to raise myself. She always made sure a roof was over my head because she took care of the apartment with the lease and all of that. She always came up and did the lease again, but that's it. We didn't have no like talking relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my aunt always used to get on her. And she used to be like, he's superior, he'll be fine. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And I hated her for that. But
yeah.
Sorry, Sue.
Yeah.
But I became a success story. So me looking at you right now, you looking at me, I'm a success story that could happen if you put your mind to it. Like, I don't do drugs, Mo. No, I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't do none of that. It's because I seen it in my family. My aunt was doing it. I seen a lot. Ex was doing it, you know, and I raised myself. So I understand when a woman is hurt.
Yeah.
We the same with that. I had to do that with my mother. And I had to look at her as human and say, you know, I think you did the best that you could with the knowledge that you had, and a lot of the shit that you did was operating out of hurt and pain, and how you were raised, which wasn't the best. You know, the conditions we were in, which wasn't the best. I'm gonna forgive you. Like, it's a mistake. It was at my expense, but I'm an adult now, and so I'm not gonna let, you know, your mistakes that you made when you were young to like ruin my whole life. But that takes maturity. And then for me to also look around the environment and say, I see what drugs do. I see what alcoholism does. I see what all this other stuff does. I don't want to be a part of that. So you and I, we're the same when it comes to that. That's
like you have a son. Mo don't have a kid yet. I got 3 girls. Yeah. I got 3 girls, but one that, you know, I made. But the other 2 is girls I went out with that just didn't have fathers in their life. And I was with their mother long enough that sometimes you become the father if you like it or not. Sometimes when you're with a woman and she has a kid. Yeah. So those daughters don't even look at me as their stepfather. They be like, that's my...
I want to touch on that, too. So my next question is this. Now, you could be the stepfather, right? I've been a stepfather, amazing stepfather in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to not being a biological father, how does it go when it comes to disciplining the kid? Because a lot of mothers is like, don't touch my kid, but you can buy him this and you can take him here. You can, you know, teach him things. This, that, and the third.
Well, lucky I didn't have that problem because I was in that woman's life so much. Where you remember, I had my own apartment as a young kid, so I always had my own apartment. So when I brought a woman in, and she was left with a kid and didn't know who the father was, you know, one was a stripper. You know, I'm not going to say her name, but, you know, we took 4 guys to court. None of the guys was the father. So I just took responsibility. I said, hey, it's mine. And I just call it a day. You know what I'm saying? So she never said nothing to me about, we disciplined her together and did what we did, and I never had that problem. The other one never had that problem with her neither, you know? And even one of the girls on the team, Mo, I won't say her name, but once again, one of my girls on the team, she had got pregnant by somebody, and, you know, the guy tried to act like he didn't have the kid. So I told her, put my name on, I said, yo, just put my name on the birth certificate, I got you. I said, me and you were just, even though me and her didn't have no mess around history, she did like me. I liked her a little bit, but I liked her enough to handle that part. But when he saw that, he checked, yo, it's my kid. So it worked in her favor. But all the girls on my team will tell you, I got most of my team is girls. And I always make sure they're all right because I got a bunch of number 1s on my team. They're not no number 2s. Meaning if I start something, they're going to finish it. So I just, you know, hold them down. They hold me down, and that's it. So
Right. Hey, yo, salute to you, Soup, man. Salute to Soup.
Because Mo, when I first met Mo said a lot of girls around me. He was like, "What is that? Like, what the hell? He never seen no guy like me." He said,
"Yo, got a lot of, whole lot of women around him. You know what I'm saying? But they were soldiers, though. They was there.
They were
doing
carrying equipment."
Holding them down. If there was a problem, anything, they in line. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, they was official.
But like you said, T, if something was like that with one of them, that would be me and her business, and that's it.
Mhm.
Because maybe she didn't want no boyfriend. One girl used to tell me like, I just need a release. That's it. I don't want all the other stuff. And I'm just looking at her like,
Yeah.
but she was real. What she said.
Yeah, you be real.
Honesty.
Yeah.
You respect the honesty. You ain't going into it blind.
And those
You know what I'm saying? I know.
relationships sometimes be the best relationships.
Yeah, I'd
'Cause
rather
it's
somebody
straightforward.
be honest, because if you lie about that, what else would you try to manipulate me in? I will always have that mindset. You know what I'm saying? One thing I used to tell my son when he was little was when he asked me if he could have something, and I said no. Right, my son is charming, man. That should be working on his grandmothers a little bit. But I tried to tell them, don't fall for that. So he'll bust out the charm. Like,
Yeah.
you wanna, like, hold your chin. Come here. Don't you want to let me have a bag of chips? You know what I'm saying? I'ma still eat dinner. I'ma still eat dinner, Mom.
Yeah.
You know, like, you will always have a way to try to like
Wine and dine.
move me out of my no.
Well, that's
into
mommy's
getting yes.
boy. That's mommy's boy.
And
He could,
but
You
what
got a
I
little game.
He do got a little that stuff be working on his grandmother. Like he like rubs his fingers through their hair. They be like, "What do you want? Just tell me what you want, son." But I told him, I said no, and I'm not going to change that. And I want you to get into the habit of respecting my no the first time. I said, because whatever it is that you do, right, to try to charm me to get your yes, you are trying to manipulate my no to a yes for your benefit. And I don't ever want you to do that and grow up and feel like you can do that to girls. And if you can do it to me, and if I allow you to do it to me as your mother,
There you go.
you might think all I got to do is butter her up a little bit. All I got to do is keep trying, right? The no has to be no. Like I instilled that with the smallest of things. Now, when he got older and he started like dating, he does not play that love tap. If you don't like him and you tell him no, he is out.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
will not try it again. He
That's
will
how I
not
am.
ask the second time. He will not try to smooth talk, right? Because that is a form of manipulation. You are challenging the no in order to get a yes for your benefit. If she really wanted it, she'd have said yes the first time.
First
If I
time.
wanted to
That's a
give you
fact.
this before dinner, I'd have said, go ahead, Christian. But I said no, and I meant it. And that's it. It's rock solid. And like it really is something as simple, but a lot of people don't teach that, right? Because everybody tries to butter up. Everybody like I've had that happen plenty of times. I've told a guy no, and he'll keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. It's like, what? Like you didn't believe me the first time?
Yeah, it's
You
crazy.
think you think you got it like that? You gonna charm me out of my panties like that? Man, please.
I would have to keep a bag of chips under my pillow with you.
Like big forehead.
Have some chips, Mom? No. All right.
Nah. Oh man.
What you eat in your
But
room, Superior? Nothing.
no.
He had a little candy stash. He did.
He was eating some chips just before we started.
Goobers. I was tearing these up.
Yeah, goobers. Yeah, he's dogging them damn goobers. Yeah. I was over here eating some damn cookies. Mine gone.
See what I'm saying?
But nah, look, but we all have trauma. Sue went through his situation, you went through yours. I didn't have my mother as well. So at a young age, somebody put something in her drink and then she never was the same. I'm like maybe 4 or 5 years old.
Damn.
Living in the projects with my sister, and I didn't have my mother. Next thing I know, we're in the closet. We basically stand in the closet, and then my pops finally comes through, and he gets the custody of me, and he raises me. But then my grandmother was my mother. So now, 40 years later, I'm actually having a conversation with her. So me being here in North Carolina, I get custody of her, and then actually get to see her for the first time, touch her hand, see her face, look in her eyes, and have a real conversation with her. And it was like the most painful thing in the world, but it's like, it happened. You know what I'm saying? So all of us up here.
Do you feel like it was healing for you? Do it feel like,
Man.
these some things that was suppressed and bottled
Man,
up?
I had questions my whole entire life.
I still got questions that wasn't answered.
Yeah, Yeah, and sometimes
Did
I
you
have
feel like, were you able to ask any of those questions? And if you did, were you able to
some,
get some answers?
some yeah, and some no, because some questions that I have in my mind, I don't want answers to. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because it's like it could be
I,
it could be a lifestyle that could have happened or whatever. I'm like, damn, do I really want to know? You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And then again, it's like I'm here, like God put me here. I made it this far.
Mhm.
We see eye to eye. And then when I looked in her eye for the first time, she said, "You the good one." So that's all I needed to know. You know what I'm saying? And then it is what it is.
Oh,
So we all got it. We all got our little, our trials.
Like the
see all
questions,
that tension. You're a good papa.
like the
Huh?
questions I would, like you just said, the questions I wanted to ask Mo, I never was able
Yeah.
to ask my father nothing. Like I don't know what he looks like. I don't know nothing. All I ever saw was my stepbrother that got my same
Uh-huh.
name that he gave me, and he's a junior.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "How you a
Mm-hmm.
junior if you younger than me?" And then what hurt me is when he said, "Well, my dad said that you're not really his son." And I said, "Oh, all right." And that was the last conversation I had about it. So I have a
Mm-hmm.
whole
Mm-hmm.
family over there. I got uncles, aunts, all
Yeah.
that on my father's side that won't even talk
I
to
did the
me.
same thing. So
Yo, they
same thing.
won't even
So I don't
talk to
know.
me. They won't talk to
Yeah.
me, and times I be needing them because on my side, I
Right.
just deal with my cousins, or I'm real close with some of my cousins, and that's about it. But that
Yeah.
family part, I be needing. But the only time I
Yeah.
hear about them is when they see me on TV or they see me like doing stuff. Like when I was honored, when they gave me DJ Superior Day and they gave DMX his day. That's when I see
Mm-hmm.
everybody. Oh, I seen you on BET. Oh, I seen you on this. I seen you on that. But I don't have nobody that really care about me.
Right.
You know.
But
We do.
that's what we
Well,
all
that's
become
why the
family. You
Lord
know what
put
I'm
us
saying?
together. That's why the Lord put us together to have this conversation.
Yeah.
He put three people
Mm-hmm.
that was wounded or doing better in their life now, put us together
Mm-hmm.
so we could talk about it and bring it to the world for everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a different unsung hero show
It's very different.
to all the audience out there. I know y'all want to hear about
Yeah.
Cat Williams. Y'all want to hear like P. Diddy and what's this and what's that. We just
But
letting
but
you
but
know
I,
that some of these
but
people,
it's the
About
year. But it's the
what's
year of the
going
truth, though.
on.
It's the year of the truth.
it's the
All the
year
truth
of the
is coming
truth.
out.
2024 is the
And
year
what's
of
going
the
on.
truth.
And for for a lot of
Well, some of
the
it.
listeners, a lot of times they think, well, I'm the only one that's been through, blankety blank, or nobody's gonna understand my story, or I
Mm-hmm.
heard so and so, but you know, I'm the only one. For all those who listen and feel like they're the only one, I have girls in Rwanda, in Ghana, in Uganda, in Zimbabwe, in Bombay, in Delhi, India, in Canada, in Punta Cana, in Cuba, in Italy, in Berlin, Germany, as well as London. You are not by yourself. This
Mm.
stuff happens globally. I work with girls globally. And a lot of them have the same story, child marriage in a lot of different countries and a lot of different places. I'll be opening up a new clinic and some shelters in Uganda because we have a lot of young girls who got out of child marriage and they're like 13, 14, 15 and they have kids already,
Wow.
right?
Damn.
So
Mm.
it is a real thing, and they have been through hell and back, right? And they're trying to do better. So hopefully somebody can watch the show and say, you know what, if she can do better, if the other girls that she's working with can do better, if healing is what I need, then let me do it early, because my biggest mistake is not getting therapy until I was like mid to late 20s. I wish
Mm-hmm.
I would have gotten it sooner. I would have spared myself hurt and harm to my heart if I would have learned sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that, I had so much shame carrying it around, or that I was the only person that experienced what I experienced. And I was not, and I am not, and I will never be the only person. And they're not the only person.
Right.
So the help that's available, take the help. Take the help and fight for yourself, for who you are and the life that you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
You can always get out and stay out.
Now I commend you. I'll take my whole hat off to you. Salute. You know what I mean? And keep fighting the good fight because we need you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You too, Sue.
We
And
need
you
we need thinkers. We need thinkers, and we're thinkers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what the world is. We don't have thinkers no more. We have robots, like Mo said. We have robots. We sitting here trying to program robots when we're not even right. So why are we going to program robots that's going to come back later to kill us? Like, what the hell is we doing?
Well, I mean, that's already happened.
It's happening already. Yeah, it's true.
Tesla engineer was killed by an AI robot. You remember that?
Well,
It just
they
happened.
try to keep that
Like,
quiet, though. They try
Yeah.
to keep that quiet. Robots don't kill. They're here to help us. Just
no,
like
it
when they
killed-
take seeds
Tesla
out of the grapes and
engineer.
fruit.
Mhm.
They take
Yeah,
seeds
now-
out of the fruit for what?
Yeah, and then the FDA fake chicken that they approved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They told you that
Yeah.
on a small scale. It wasn't even a big story. Chicken, how much we
Yeah,
eat
they
it,
said-
that should be a big story. That shit
Yeah.
is a
much
little
we
damn
eat?
story.
Hey, yo.
Tell me that you are going to create false chicken and put
False
it in
chicken.
the market and sell it, and then
Yeah.
the FDA approved it. No, like
And
Are
they
you
sitting
really
in the
eating
big
fried?
office saying, okay, we told them already. Now slowly spread that chicken around places and
not
whatever,
just
whatever.
that, not make it affordable. Make
Oh,
actual,
yeah.
like and do like we up here with the inflation. Raise the prices of everything real.
Everything.
Lower the prices of everything fake.
That
Right?
part.
We live amongst a bunch of consumers. All they're gonna do is buy name brand
Buy
this
it
and
up.
name brand that. And once they're done with all that, they'll all the money they have left, they'll buy whatever's available.
Mm-hmm.
If you make it cheap enough, they'll buy it. Because they got rent to pay and bills to pay and gas and all other stuff that's overpriced. So
We
they'll
gotta
they'll lower it, and people will be like, "Well, I'll just try it." Like, what's people will find a story to tell themselves to justify the
We gotta
prey.
get back to basics.
Remember Popeyes with that chicken sandwich? People were going
Yeah.
crazy for that chicken sandwich.
Crazy boy.
They're getting sick.
You're sick,
And
right?
all kind of stuff was going on after that sandwich. It's just like I knew it. It ain't no
Chick-fil-A.
way.
Look, you should look how many chemicals that are in Chick-fil-A, a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And you wonder why that line is all the way around the corner.
Okay,
Every day, 24/7.
might be a lot. Might be a little. They might have laced your chicken sandwich.
Of course.
Well, and it's no different than drugs. It's just a legal hustle. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a legal hustle.
I feel the same way about
Yeah.
medication. Same thing with medication. It's just drugs. It's
Yeah, that's
legalized.
it.
It's just a pusher.
Like
Yeah,
a doctor
pusher.
got mad. A doctor got mad with me, T, when I was in there because I wouldn't take certain stuff they were giving me. I like, you're not just gonna bring pills in here and say I gotta take this. What's each one of these pills? What is it for? Oh my God, you gotta stop. Whatever. This is what we do. No, I need to know what you're putting in my body. Which you
Yeah.
can ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They act
Yeah,
like
you
you
can
can't
ask.
ask. I'm a very
We gotta
difficult.
get back to basics.
I'm telling you,
Very
I'm a
true.
We gotta
difficult.
get back to basics, man.
Remember back in
This
the
is
days
this is
when they used
Yeah,
to
so-
give us what's they used to give us? Like when you was sick, it was a shot of penicillin. That shit used to clear up everything.
clear up everything, yeah. You right. You right. But look, we gotta get back to basics
Okay.
now. Now look, if our women are pushing the kids to Sexy Red and all this other nonsense, listen to music, putting them on strip poles at 5 years old, right? They're not in the house cooking because the kitchen is the medicine for the family. So if you got the proper food, somebody that's going out getting the proper foods for the family, you won't have these issues of dealing with the doctors.
And
So we
got
got to get back to basics.
yeah, back to basics, and we got to understand
We gotta
that
get
the
back to basics,
doctor
man.
is no different than the drug dealer because the doctor,
The doctor is
keeps you
the drug
sick
dealer.
so you can keep coming back.
Yeah,
It's no
they gotta
different than
prescribe you this. I'm gonna diagnose you with this and that. Man, we got to get back to basics, man. Men and women on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
because
we
look at
gotta
the people in the last part I'm gonna touch
Together.
with this. Look at the people that's in those homes, like them old people in them homes. They giving them pills. They only giving them enough until the insurance run out. So they just telling you that this is helping you. That shit ain't helping you.
You would
When your
check.
insurance run out, Watch what happens.
That's it. We gotta
Yeah.
stop playing their game, man.
We've been playing
You know
the
what I
game
mean?
for too long.
But the thing is, we know now, but we still doing the shit. That's the thing that bothers me.
That's
You
what I'm
already know
telling
what's
you.
in this
We
fool.
can know all we
You know what I'm
want.
saying?
We can know all we want. It's up, like she said. We have to be tired of it, and we have to whatever. Like this thing Cat Williams said, to go to him real quick. Like she
Yeah,
said,
talk
them
about it.
white men been doing that in the industry for years. Pac told us something, and we looked at it like Pac told you that man Quincy tried to, when he was trying to date his daughter, they were trying to sleep with Pac. Pac been telling us about what was going on, but we labeled them as crazy every time they do that. Mike Tyson was becoming too powerful. That's why whatever happened to him happened. Bill Cosby. We seen what happened with that. Them women were paid to say that. And that story was like this when they said it. But when they said he did it, the story was like this. Meanwhile, we did not know that his property was sitting on a oil field, which they wanted, and he wouldn't give it up. And then he was trying to do a network. We forgot all of that because before they didn't knowing all that, he was the best dad in the world, and they destroyed him like this.
Yeah.
I think we need to do a better job at taking care of one another as a community, as a whole. I think we need to do a better job at protecting our children. I think we need to do a better job at protecting each other. I think we need to do a better job at creating safe spaces for us. I think our community needs a lot of healing, and we need to want to do it, right? It cannot be this trophy of, well, when I make it to their seat at their table, then I've made it, right? Because you really don't know what's on the menu and what you're being fed,
Hey,
right?
you'll be on the menu.
Yeah,
exactly.
you're on the menu
And
every day.
I don't think that we really think that. We have this consumerism mindset. We got to get ahead. We got to get ahead
Get out of that.
with the stuff,
Yeah.
right? And not realizing, like I just sat there and told somebody, who just got an iPhone. Oh, I need a new iPhone. I'm like, you just got a new iPhone. I said, your consumerism. Somebody else posted something like that on social media. Especially Black people, our consumerism is contributing to all of the kids mining that cobalt for Apple and Tesla. Because we got to have a new phone or a new MacBook or a new whatever it is.
Right.
Every year it creates a demand. So it's going to keep them in those minds like that. They are being killed over there. They're being killed over there to make everybody's new Apple and Tesla are over there doing that. And everybody wants a Tesla. No one is going to give up their iPhone. No one is going to give up that MacBook. No one is going to, everybody is going to create a reason of why they need it.
The program is deep.
The programming is deep. And here's another thing. My brother was just like, back in the day, and my dad said it, back in the day, we would buy a car, we would keep it 10, 15, 20 years or whatever. Yeah. And now this demand of having to have a new car every time one comes out.
Yeah, I didn't heard women say that. A woman, like, say I'm talking to a woman in the bar, me and her talking. She like, what year car you drive? I was like, what?
Why does that even matter? It's paid off.
Fuck matter. You
know how I look at that?
You walked here to meet me. How you?
The money that you save from buying a new car every year, that to me, that's like, oh yeah, he got some money to spend. We can like invest in a new project together. We can invest in because if you are blowing your money and wasting it, that is something that I look at as just like you don't put nothing away from the rent. You got to have the latest thing. Like what? Like
the programming.
Who are you trying to please? Yeah,
they did it. They did one hell of a number on us.
Are you willing to get like? We see these kids in Africa all the time. I know everybody's on the internet. You can see everything that's going on in Sudan. It's bone chilling, and everything that's going on in the Congo, right? Everything that's going on in Palestine.
Even here,
Palestine, Gaza is sitting on all that oil, right? No one is like when you think about the Congo and all that they're doing for cobalt, it's kind of like, man, maybe I should just chill on getting these iPhones, or maybe I should switch over, or maybe I don't have to have the latest and newest one.
But if people was to see it every day and what's going on, it would just how they programmed us to buy. That stuff needs to be seen all the time, where they can be like, I would not buy this. Yeah.
It's seen everywhere. It's all over social media. It's all over the internet, right? But when you see it, you have to choose to boycott. And let me tell you how powerful money is. McDonald's and Starbucks are like, yo, maybe we should go ahead and call for a ceasefire. Man, we done lost over $1 billion. Starbucks closed, I think, like 10 or 11 stores. People are boycotting Starbucks, boycotting McDonald's, boycotting Zara. They are losing millions and billions of dollars, and they are feeling it. They are feeling it. They thought people was playing. Globally, collectively, people boycotted. They were like, "No, you can't be killing. We don't support the killing of these people for that."
Right.
And they're losing money, and now they speaking up. They're like, "Man, all right, America. Maybe it's time to call for a ceasefire because
once again,
the money.
Get back to basics. We get back to basics. It shuts all the bullshit down.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we need you, and I need
Congo though, because that's like they are over there killing us, and we keep buying their stuff.
We keep buying it. Yeah.
If we can't boycott, if we see the impact that that has happened for the people in Gaza and West Bank, and everybody's like rallying around boycotting and hurting pockets. We need to be able to do that for Congo when it comes to Teslas and iPhones, and anybody that is moving people out just to set up shop over there to do what they're doing. When I look at that, I was just like, you couldn't pay me to buy an iPhone or any other Apple product or any type of Tesla, anything, because every time I look at it, I see these kids. And the women and the men and what they're doing to them all the time, just so I could have what? No, I mean, but I have a Samsung Galaxy. So,
but at the same time, Key, we at war over here too.
Yeah, we are.
We at war all over the damn world with our people, everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's
like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your money? Like, do you have to give your money to that, or can you give your money? We need to give more of our money to each other.
Yeah, but we're programmed to do that already. Like you said McDonald's. You mentioned McDonald's. So say they lose a couple of million. You know what they bring back out? $2.50 Big Macs.
Big Mac.
They'll bring out the Jordan rib sandwich. Jordan hasn't played ball in 35 years. We still trying to get every Jordan and be online. And then Yeezys, where the hell did that come from? He didn't play no ball. We're customers. And they see it.
What we got to do is now put in systems where we can unlearn the bullshit.
There you go.
We have access to the internet. We have access to promote whatever events, whatever stuff we got going on. We have this platform here that we're talking on. Now we got to put in systems to unlearn this, unravel all this nonsense, get back to basics, get back to basic needs. You know what I mean? Females, guys, like we need that. We need each other at this particular moment because we've been at war, but the war has escalated to the point where it's now our kids has been under, like they've been doing this for years, forever. Now we actually just now seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got the underground tunnels and stuff that's going on with the Jews and all this other nonsense. Like it's been happening. Now it's right in front of our faces, blatantly happening now. So they're like, yo, what you gonna do? Because we've been doing this. So we at this stage. So for the next show, we need to come up with some solutions to these problems.
I got some. I'm ready.
So we're gonna save that for the next one.
Just to let everybody know before we leave, today was a good show. I thank for our guests that came.
Yes, Kiana Monroe.
Miss Kiana Monroe. Y'all will be seeing more of her because she, we'll bring her in here and there as an analyst. have her in.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just to let y'all know, there's a record out there that we made to honor DMX. It's called I Apologize. It's by
Mm-hmm.
Sucker Free and myself. I'm featured on it. Sucker Free is his cousin. So it's out there. It's called I Apologize. And if for those that said, what are you apologizing about? I'm just apologizing how much this world divided us and I allowed it to happen. So that was me saying sorry to him. All right.
Salute.
So salute.
Mm-hmm.
And
Salute, bro.
big shout out to the Rec Mob, MREC TV, for giving us this
Rec
platform.
Mob. Yeah, Rec Mob, what up?
We'll see you next time. Anybody you want to shout out, Miss Kiana?
Kiana got a whole business and a franchise. Come on, Key. Talk about it, Key.
Yeah, I mean, if you need my services, go to my website, KianaMonroe.com. I can reach you globally. There are plenty of things that I have out there that can help anybody at any time. Shout out to my 21-year-old who'll be 22 this year, and all my friends, my Spellman sisters, just my team of people who do what they do and kind of hold me down. That makes a world of a difference to my entire team globally. That helps me do what I do, because there's no way I could do all of this by myself. So, yeah,
Salute.
if you need me,
Salute.
I'm available.
And I am DJ Moschino. You can follow me on all platforms at DJ MOESKIENO. And I do follow back. You know what I'm saying? For all party bookings, DJMoschino.com.
And also for me, you could reach me at the Real DJ Superior on Instagram. Also, I have my own water called Superior Natural Spring Water. It's in bars and diners. I had it for like 5 years. And you can reach me straight on my email that I share with my brother, mhbooking@yahoo.com. Or you can call me direct, 914-505-5169.
He had a whole phone number.
Yeah, you see it?
Kiana loves me, because I do. That's very intentional, that Instagram handle. Yeah, I gotta get me some of your water.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like you said,
my money to my people.
but once again, salute to the Rec Mob, man. Y'all already know what it is. Salute to M Rec himself, Bubble Gooses, Double Deuces, and we out, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
MREC TV.